Most people walk around with this invisible weight strapped to their chest. They're overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted, frustrated, and they think all of this is normal. They think stress is a part of being ambitious, a part of chasing something big, a part of being responsible. They think chaos is the cost of caring. But let me ask you something. If stress were truly the price of success, why do the most successful people on the planet work less, think clearer, and breathe easier? It's because they learned something we were never taught in school. Stress is not the byproduct of effort, it's the byproduct of poor systems. Every outcome you want, more money, better health, stronger confidence, deeper relationships, it doesn't come from willpower. Willpower burns out. It comes from systems. It comes from routines that operate even when you don't feel like it. It comes from structure that holds you up on the days motivation abandons you. And that's the difference between someone who grows and someone who just gets through the day. One builds a support system. The other battles their life alone. Let me make this real. Imagine you wake up every morning with your mind already racing. What do I have to do first? What did I forget? What if I fall behind? Your nervous system is already on fire before your feet touch the floor. You're reacting, not creating. You're defending, not advancing. And all because there's no system guiding your day, so your day controls you. If you feel like you're always fighting your schedule, always catching up, always trying to squeeze life into the cracks, it's not because you're undisciplined. It's because the system you're operating from is non-existent. But here's the beautiful part. Systems don't care about your past. They don't care about your excuses. They don't care about your fears. You can build one today, and it will transform your life instantly. A system is simply a repeated pattern that guarantees a desired result. That's it. It's not complicated. It's not mystical. It's just consistency engineered with intention. Think about your phone. You plug it in at night. In the morning it will be at 100%. That's a system. But what about you? What's your recharge system? What's your clarity system? Your focus system? Your health system? Your growth system? Most people don't have these. They wake up, hope for the best, and then beat themselves up when things fall apart. They blame their mood. They blame their genetics. They blame their circumstances. When the truth is, they just never built the operating system for the life they want. You ever notice how stress multiplies when you have no plan? When you don't know what to do next, everything feels urgent, everything feels important, everything feels like you're one mistake away from collapse. But when you have a system, your mind relaxes. It knows what's next. It knows what matters. It knows what can wait. Systems turn chaos into clarity. Let me tell you something powerful. Your stress is not coming from the amount of work you have. It's coming from the inconsistency in how you approach it. It's the indecision, the uncertainty, the constant switching, the mental load of remembering everything. Systems take that load out of your head and put it into structure. They free your mind to focus on what actually moves your life forward. And here's where it gets exciting. Systems create identity. When you do something the same way every day, it stops being an action and starts being who you are. You don't just journal, you become someone who reflects. You don't just work out, you become someone who trains. You don't just save money, you become someone who builds wealth. Systems shape you from the inside out. But people resist systems because they think systems take away freedom. They think structure is restrictive. They think planning is boring. But let me challenge that. Is it freedom when you're stressed, overwhelmed, constantly behind? Is it freedom when your emotions run your life? Is it freedom when you're always apologizing for things you forgot, or waking up anxious, or going to drained? That's not freedom, that's survival. Freedom is when your life runs smoothly. Freedom is when your day has rhythm. Freedom is when you have mental space, emotional energy, physical strength, and financial stability. Freedom is built on systems. If you want more freedom, you need more structure. Now let's talk about momentum. Stress destroys momentum. Systems create it. When you repeat a small action every single day, it becomes a force. It builds speed. It builds certainty. It builds confidence. You don't need massive effort. You need consistent patterns. You just need the right motions repeated long enough to become unstoppable. Imagine having a morning system that centers you, a work system that simplifies your decisions, a personal system that grows your mind, a health system that strengthens your body, an evening system that resets your stress, a financial system that builds your future automatically. Imagine living in a world where overwhelm isn't even a possibility because everything important in your life has a place, a rhythm, and a plan. That's what systems give you. They turn discipline into autopilot. They turn effort into ease. They turn goals into inevitabilities. But here's the truth: you won't build systems by accident. You build them with intention. You build them by deciding that you're done living on stress, done surviving, done fighting fires, done winging your life every day. You build them because you're ready to step into the next level of yourself. Building systems is one of the greatest acts of self-respect. It means you believe your life is worthy of organization. It means you believe your goals deserve a foundation. It means you believe your peace matters. It means you believe your future is too valuable to leave to chance. From this moment forward, I want you to stop asking, how do I stay motivated? And start asking, what system can I build that removes the need for motivation? Because motivation gets you started, but systems keep you unstoppable. You want an extraordinary life. Don't stress your way into it. Systemize your way into it. You want peace? Systemize it. You want success? Systemize it. You want confidence? Systemize it. You want energy? Systemize it. Because the life you want is not built on chaos, it's built on consistency. And consistency is built on systems. So today you choose. You can keep living your life on stress, or you can build a life that runs on structure, clarity, and power. And when you make that choice, when you build systems, not stress, you won't just change your days, you'll change your destiny. You know, people look at someone thriving and they assume it's because that person is smarter, luckier, more talented, or born with some supernatural discipline. But the truth is so much simpler. People who win have systems that make winning unavoidable. They don't depend on their mood. They don't wait for inspiration. They don't rely on memory or motivation. They create frameworks that pull them forward, even on the days when everything inside them wants to stop. That's the magic of systems. They work even when you don't want to. And in a world where emotional ups and downs are guaranteed, having something in your life that doesn't fluctuate is priceless. Let me ask you something. How much of your stress comes from things you already know you need to do, but haven't done yet? Think about it. The conversation you need to have, the email you need to send, the habit you need to build, the chore you've been postponing, the decision you've been avoiding. Stress accumulates in the space between knowing and doing. Systems eliminate that gap. They turn I should into I do. They turn chaos into certainty. And here's the deeper truth: stress is rarely about the task, it's about the weight of keeping it in your mind. When your mind is overloaded with unfinished loops, it starts to feel like you're drowning, even if the tasks themselves aren't that big. Systems close loops. They free your mind. They give you space to breathe. Imagine your mind like a room. Every undone task is an object on the floor. At first, a few things lying around don't bother you. But more things accumulate, then more, and eventually you're stepping on everything, bumping into everything, losing your energy, losing your clarity. Systems clean the room. They give everything a place. They clear the floor so you can move freely. And the moment your internal space is clear, your external actions transform. But here's the fascinating part. Most people don't lack the ability to build systems. They lack the patience to sustain them long enough for them to work. They try something for 3 days and say, it's not working. Of course it's not working. It hasn't had time to become a system yet. Systems are built through repetition. Repetition builds habits. Habits build identity. Identity builds results. And results build a new reality. But the first brick is repetition. Consistency isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. Think of the way water cuts through rock. Not with force, not with intensity, with consistency, with patience, with repetition. That's how systems work. You repeat the right actions over and over until the path becomes carved into your life. And that carved path becomes the flow that carries you forward. Now, let's talk about another piece. People underestimate: emotional regulation. Stress destroys your emotional stability. Systems restore it. When your life is systemized, your emotions don't have to run the show. You don't wait to feel aligned, you live aligned. You don't wait to feel confident, you act with clarity that produces confidence. You don't wait to feel productive, you follow a structure that generates productivity naturally. That's the beauty of systems. They separate emotion from execution. And if you've ever wondered why your emotions spike, dip, swing, wobble, it's because you're living reactively. Systems move you into creation mode. Instead of reacting to everything happening around you, you begin shaping what happens within you. That shift alone can change your entire life. Think about your morning. Most people wake up and immediately enter reaction mode, checking messages, scrolling through notifications, worrying about the day, feeling rushed, feeling behind. And then they wonder why the rest of their day feels like catching up. But imagine instead waking up into a system, a predictable rhythm, a set of actions that align your mind, center your energy, and prepare you for the world. Suddenly, your morning is not a storm, it's a launch pad. And when your launch pad is powerful, everything else becomes easier. Systems aren't just productivity tools, they're emotional protection, they're mental armor, they're spiritual alignment, they're physical structure. They're the foundation of every version of yourself you've ever dreamed of becoming. And here's another truth people avoid. You already have systems. They're just unintentional ones. You have systems of procrastination. You have systems of distraction. You have systems of overthinking. You have systems of reacting. You have systems of stress. Every repeated behavior in your life is already a system. You don't need to start from zero. You only need to replace the ones that are harming you with ones that elevate you. Look closely at your life. What do you repeatedly do that creates stress? Sleeping late, avoiding difficult tasks, starting your day without clarity, saying yes when you should say no, leaving things until the last minute. These are systems. They're just disempowering ones. The key is to swap destructive systems for empowering systems. For example, if your system is waking up and checking your phone, replace it with waking up, taking 3 slow breaths, drinking water, and reviewing your top 3 priorities. If your system is avoiding uncomfortable tasks, replace it with starting each day with 1 courage task to build resilience. If your system is reacting emotionally, replace it with pausing, breathing, and responding with intention. The power is in understanding that you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And if your systems stay weak, your stress will stay strong. Now, let's address something that holds people back, the belief that building systems requires perfection. It doesn't. Systems don't demand perfection, they demand consistency. You can miss a day, you can slip up, you can stumble, and the system will still work as long as you get back to it. The goal is never to be perfect. The goal is to return, to realign, to reset without guilt. Perfectionism creates stress, systems create stability. Another misconception. People think systems must be complex to be effective. But the greatest systems in the world are simple. Breathe deeply. Move your body. Write things down. Review your goals. Plan your top priorities. Eat fuel, not stress. Sleep with intention. Reflect on your progress. Repeat what works. Eliminate what doesn't. You don't need complicated charts, apps, or frameworks. You need simplicity repeated. Complexity overwhelms the mind. Simplicity empowers it. And here's something powerful: when you build systems, you stop arguing with yourself. You eliminate mental debate. You remove the internal dialogue of should I, shouldn't I, maybe later. The system decides. You follow, and because of that, you save an enormous amount of energy. Decision fatigue evaporates. Productivity accelerates. Creativity expands. Stress dissolves. It's like creating a current in a river. Once the current is strong enough, you flow with it. It carries you. You don't have to fight against the water anymore, but you must build the current first. Systems create the current. Now let's talk about identity. Identity is the lens through which you see yourself, and systems reinforce identity. If you repeatedly follow a system of discipline, you become disciplined. If you repeatedly follow a system of growth, you become growth-oriented. If you repeatedly follow a system of calm, you become grounded. Systems make identity predictable. Stress shapes identity negatively. Systems shape identity intentionally. And there's another layer: trust. When you build systems, you build self-trust. You begin to trust your ability to execute, to follow through, to show up. That trust is priceless because it's the foundation of confidence. Confidence is not built by achieving. It's built by keeping small promises to yourself consistently. Every system you follow is a promise kept. Every system you maintain is confidence compounded. And with confidence comes peace. Peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of systems strong enough to handle them. Systems also free you from procrastination. Procrastination thrives in uncertainty. It thrives in lack of clarity. It thrives in emotional discomfort. But when your day has a system, your tasks have a timeline, your decisions have a structure, procrastination loses its power. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you begin within the system. People say they're stressed because they're busy. But busy is just a lack of systemization. When you're aligned, busy doesn't overwhelm you. When you're structured, busy doesn't scare you. When your tasks have order, busy doesn't burn you out. Without systems, even small tasks feel heavy. With systems, even big tasks feel manageable. Now let's step into the deeper emotional layer: self-worth. When you build systems, you communicate to yourself that you are someone worth investing in. You are someone worth organizing. You are someone worth supporting. You are someone whose life deserves design. And that message rewires how you treat yourself. Stress says, I'm barely holding on. Systems say, I'm building myself. Stress says, life is too much. Systems say, I'm in control. Systems say, I'm reliant. Stress says, I hope I make it. Systems say, I am prepared. And in preparation, stress dissolves. Because stress thrives in uncertainty. When you build systems, uncertainty fades. Imagine a life where every part of your day has a rhythm. Your morning sets your focus. Your work flows through a structure. Your priorities are chosen with clarity. Your emotions are regulated with intention. Your habits are aligned with your identity. Your evenings reset your mind. Your sleep renews your energy. Imagine carrying that kind of structure. Chaos wouldn't stand a chance. And here's the most liberating part. Systems make your dreams practical. They take vision and turn it into steps. They take goals and turn them into behaviors. They take hope and turn it into habit. They take pressure and turn it into progress. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop trying to control outcomes and start controlling inputs. You stop worrying about results and focus on systems. You stop stressing about the future and strengthen what you do today. Because the truth is, your future is not built in the future. It's built in your systems right now. Every day you follow your system, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Every day you stay intentional, you're carving your path. Every day you stick to the structure, you're rewriting your destiny. And one day, the stress that used to consume you becomes unrecognizable. Not because life became easier, but because you became structured. Not because challenges disappeared, but because your systems carried you through them. Not because you stopped caring, but because you learned to care with clarity. People talk about leveling up, but the real level up is not in doing more. It's in doing things through systems so stress no longer owns you. The real level up is living in a state of alignment so powerful that overwhelm simply cannot survive in your environment. And when you reach that place, when your systems become your lifestyle, you don't chase peace. You live in it. You don't chase success. You grow into it. You don't chase confidence. You embody it. You don't chase breakthroughs. You create them. You stop building stress and start building the life you were always meant to live.